Hi there. Today's project is a tea light holder. And I decided to try a little bit of testing on coloring. I don't know anything about coloring and I'd like to learn a little bit. So this is what I came up with, this really ugly piece of art. I'm pretty sure the only thing to burn is not going to be the wick. Something might happen to this one accidentally. It's grotesque. I really hate it. I overdid it. I'll explain why if you want to stick around and watch the video. But having done this, I decided I want to do another one. So I've got another one I've turned. I have waxed the heck out of the bottom, the top, and the inside because I want to restrict the paint to just the outside surface here. So I'm going to color that one. I won't subject you to watching me do more coloring. And at the end, you can just slip to the end of the video if you want and just see the comparison. But I hope to do a better job on this one. So I hope you'll stick around and watch the turning and even the coloring. Today's project's a simple one. I want to make a little tea light holder for my wife. Why don't you join me over at the lathe and let's take a look at this. I have a piece of birch here. It was 4 inches square. I just knocked the corners off. I'm going to put it between the drive center and the live center now. And I'm going to turn it round. And I'm going to put a tenon on this side so I can reverse chuck it into a 4-jaw chuck. I'm going to be using my 3/8 inch bowl gouge to turn this round. I'm going to be turning it at 2,000 RPM. I think I'm going to put a recess back here instead of a tenon. I want to keep all of this depth. There is not enough space in here to get my parting tool parallel with the tailstock unless I lift it up high. So I'm going to lift it up, turn it a little bit to aim straight into there and run this parallel to the bedways. I'll be turning at 1,000 RPM. And that should be fine to get my jaws in there. I'm going to sand all of this and then I'll reverse it and come back to show you the top part. The diameter of this tea light is 1 9/16 of an inch, and I want it to be in there loose, really loose. So I'm using a 1 5/8 inch Forstner bit to drill the hole for it. Now I know some purists are going to say this is cheating, but you know what? It takes time to do it another way, a lot more time, so I'll let the purists use the time the way they want to, and I'm going to use the Forstner bit. I'll be turning this at 250 RPM. Check that for depth now. I'm going to take just a little more. I want this tin to be just proud, but not that proud of the surface. And that's what I'm looking for. Now, bear in mind, this is wood, and this is going to have a flame on it. Now, there's no problem at all if you're using one of those battery-powered electric tea lights, but I don't have those, and it'll probably never be even lit, to be honest with you. But that is ready now. I'm going to sand this and get ready to reverse it to do the bottom. As you may be able to tell, I'm using my pin jaws in expansion mode, and I'm going to be using my 3/8 inch bowl gouge. Now when I start this cut, I want to have my flute closed, which means straight up and down. If I have it at an angle, it could skate. I've already sanded this, I don't want to have to do that again. So I will start with it closed, very gently start until I get a bit of a shoulder in there, then I can open it up, swing it around, and start to turn. Now I'm not going to make it very deep at all. I have a good 1/2 inch here, so I don't have to worry about making a funnel. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be turning at 1000 RPM. That's not what I wanted. No real damage in there at least, so I can just tighten it up a little bit more and get right back to it. It's a balancing act. There's a fine line between too tight and splitting it and not tight enough. But I'll see what happens on this now. I'll be turning it at 1000 RPM to put the rings in with my skew chisel. Alright, I'll get my Forstner bit ready. Just going to sand these rings a little bit first, then I'm going to put in the recess for my logo coin. And there's the logo coin ready to be glued in place, but I'm not going to do that just yet. I'll wait until I've got the coloring finished on this. Okay, I'm ready to start putting some color to this thing. And my wife, who likes to dabble in art, has given me some of these colors, and I'm going to see what I can do. Now she gave me this little, I don't even know what to call this, artist thing where you can put different colors in these different pockets. But I don't want to get it dirty, I just got to clean it up. So what I want to do is just take some paint, I'll put it on, wad it up a little bit of paper towel, I'm going to dab it around, then do another color after it dries for a few minutes, and carry on like that. And I'm inspired by Stewart Furini. If you haven't seen him and you're interested in coloring wood, take a look at his videos. I will put a link in the description box below the video so you can check him out. Well worth looking at if you're interested in coloring things. This is my first time trying this, so we'll see what's going to happen. I'm going to move the camera. No use looking at me when you want to look at what's happening here. Let's get right to it. Now I'm hoping the lighting is going to be good enough to show this. The colors I have here are deep yellow, phthalo green, phthalo blue. I just like that word, phthalo, whatever. Brilliant red, and Mars black. I think I'll stay away from the black. I don't want to get too dark. I'm not sure which colors are complementary to others and which are not. I don't really know that much about color. So I'm going to start with red, simply because it's my favorite color. Get a little bit on the paper towel here. Try not to overdo it. And I'm just going to go around and make a few dabs. I'm sure I've said before, I am not an artist. I don't know anything about art. Up till now I've been happy with that, but maybe it's time to try something and broaden my horizons a little bit. Not sure how long I have to leave this stuff dry. Looks like it's drying up fairly quickly. I guess I could have read the directions, of which there are none, really. It just says fast drying. And this is something rare. You don't see this very often. Made in China. Oh, must be good stuff. All right, so that's looking like it's drying up fairly nicely. I'll take a different piece of towel. I think I'll try some yellow with that. Back here. Couple of places there because the red's not really dry yet. It's kind of mixing. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not. Normally when I turn something and put a finish on top, of course it's smooth because I've sanded it down to 400 grit or better. I'm not quite sure what to do with this because of course this is paint. It's standing a little proud of the wood. I don't want to sand it down, so I think I'll probably have to go with a spray lacquer or something like that. Okay, in case I haven't mentioned this before, the camera I'm using is not the highest quality camera in the world, and it does funky little things once in a while that I don't like. This time, for instance, it just shut itself off after 3 minutes and I didn't realize it. So the green is probably a surprise to you. I'm going to carry on. This is starting to look a little more like a Jackson Pollock work than I like, but my wife actually said she likes it so far, so that's good enough for me. I'm going to just add a little blue to this and I think I'll call it quits at that point. Oop, that was a lot more than I expected. Try to be judicious with this now. Don't want it on here too thick or too dark. And if Stewart Furini sees this, I don't blame him, but I appreciate the guidance that I got from watching some of his work. This might be too much blue. I might have just overpowered the whole thing. I've been wondering what to do on the inside there. I kind of like this blue and there's some there, so I think I'm just going to put some inside here. Not real dark, not a lot. Most of the time it's just going to be having a tea light sitting in there anyway. I'll leave that like that. After this is dry, I'm going to put some blue, I think, on the bottom as well. It's got the writing on there, but I think it'll be able to be seen through this blue. So I'm going to let this dry and I'll be back. Okay, I admit it, I don't know when to quit. I should have stopped before I put the blue on. It was looking a lot better. Don't really like this. What can I say? I don't know anything about art, so I do know I don't care for this. But it's too late. I don't know any way to take that blue off. It is just an experiment. So now I've got this clear finish Krylon Color Master. It says it's non-yellowing. Maybe a little yellowing wouldn't hurt. So I'm just going to give it some of this. I'll do 2 or 3 coats. And I'll come back and show you how bad it really looks. Well, I've shown this piece to quite a few people. I've told every one of them that I think it's ugly. And would you believe it? Not one person has argued with me. This is really bad. So I did do another one, painted a little bit different. I quite like this. You might say I used all the colors because black is all the colors, isn't it? So I like this a lot better. I just used a Sharpie marker to put the black on it and then wipe on poly over top of it, and I'm much more pleased with this. If you ever look up artist in the dictionary, you will not find a picture of me, guaranteed. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you stuck around for the whole thing. Have a great day in your shop and be safe. Thanks for stopping in. Please come back next time. Don't forget to subscribe. Take care now.